So not only did it take my buoy, they took my entire end line too. This is getting old real quick. This buoy was on here yesterday. That is really, really something. I've never caught a blue lobster. I've always wanted to and never have. That's a bluefin tuna. That's tough. We did hard to make money with that. I guess we're all right. We're well over a quarter. Good morning. It's foggy out here in the harbor. We're gonna go over and get our bait for the day. But look at this fog. Good morning. Can I do a bogey and a red rack, please? Thank you. Important to never stand underneath the barrel, even if it's empty. Someone's probably died because of that. Doesn't seem like a lot of weight, but that, if it lands on your head, very easily kill you. So we try to be safe. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Look at that, Joe. A little light on the bogeys and a little heavy on the reds. We'll call that even. I took some lobsters home for dinner last night. So we bring back the shells and we just dump them back in the sea. That really is where they belong, back where they came from. But, all right, we're making our way out of Portland Harbor. We're about to get past the no wake line and we're gonna go steam off. Well, we're gonna go pretty slowly because it's foggy out. That's one of the safety risks of foggy days. You can't go wicked fast because you might you might hit something. If you look, see, I'm only squinting. I'm a little bit too tall for my boat. When I'm looking out here, when I look, my eye line is looking right here, so I always have to go down a little bit to actually see the horizon. So whenever you see me on videos going like that, I think it looks kind of silly when I watch it back, but I'm constantly doing this all day. Very good, we're gonna get going. All right, so on a day like today when you quite literally can't see anything, it can be quite dangerous. I was just saying to look out for boats. You gotta look out for boats. Both for their sake and your own. Yeah, so I got my radar on, and this will let me see what's coming at me. So this is where we're heading, that vertical line, and there's something right there. I imagine that is probably Fort Gorges, or that's probably the fort, and that's probably the ledge right before it. So, pretty interesting. I don't know what's right in front of me though. I need to keep my eyes peeled. Yeah, not really sure. funny, in my last video, no one asked why I had a Diet Coke can in the lobster trap. No, not a single person asked why. They must have thought it was on accident, or by accident.
We caught trash.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They probably thought it was just accidentally rubbish. So as we're hauling the string, I'm always trying to position the boat so that I'm moving in line with it. That makes the hauling easier, and it matters more so here in the shallower water. Look how orange that lobster is. Female. That's not really a V. Well, it definitely isn't legally a V, which is funny. So, let's see. In the state of Maine, it has to actually be, well, there's a nick in the flipper there. I don't know. I don't think anyone else would think that's a nick. I don't know. Am I going to call that a nick? This is one of the interesting subjective things about lobster fishing. I'm going to say because of the missing thing there, and there is a very slight, I mean, you can't even see it, but it is technically there. I'm going to consider that a V notch. And we will give her a fresh V and release her. The law says 0 tolerance. So if a warden pulled us over and checked our lobsters and I had that aboard, it's very possible that he would have said that that was in fact a V. So it's good to give the lobster the benefit of the doubt. I don't see one there. Another close one. How do we do out of that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 lobsters out of 6 traps. Other side. Ah, crap. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I guess I should probably rip this off. We're not gonna have that sitting there all day. Right? The buoy line caught the piece of fiberglass. Ah, crap. That really sucks. I almost dropped it. Alright. Well, at least it's in one piece. You want to give that a rinse with the hose, actually? Get the mud off of it?
Yep.
Great. Now we're looking like a real commercial vessel. That's fine. We'll 5200 that back on. Just wonderful. Second string of the day and already breaking stuff. I don't know. That was threatening to fall off for a little while, so. Oh well. Alright, a couple of things went wrong here. As you can see, the head fell out, and that's no good because the lobsters can escape through there, and that's just not a fishing trap. It's slack tide right now, so this is quite annoying to be wasting the nice slack water doing this sort of thing, but that's just fine. It's got to be done. Well, that'll be good enough. All right, the other thing that happened is we lost the door bungee on that one. Definitely took off too much bungee. That's just fine. And I'm missing the door clip that we usually use. So I'm just going to cut a hole in the trap wire, and that'll make a nice spot for the bungee to go into. Very good. Are you taking your lunch break early, Joe? Perfect. All right, back to work. More lobsters. All right, we're hauling another one. We're not doing so hot. We're hauling our strings up in the bay today, and it's really not looking great. It does happen like this. It's really an interesting thing. Lobsters, as you can imagine, are transient. They're always chasing the optimal water temperature. They're chasing their optimal habitat. Okay, I say that we're doing terrible, and then this trap comes up, and the first lobster I pick up is a keeper. That's a V-notch. Lobsters are inherently transient, so they're always moving, which is not something that I think people really think about. But it's true. They're constantly moving around, and anyone in the state of Maine, or probably anyone, with some traps and bait can go and catch lobsters. But to be a good fisherman, you have to catch a lot of them, and perhaps most importantly, you have to know where they're gonna be. We're often this time of year chasing lobsters around, and it's challenging because the information that you have, like I can see that there are some lobsters here, and what that tells me is that 3 or 4 days ago when I hauled this, there were lobsters here. What it doesn't tell me is if there are lobsters here right now. So that's one of the challenges, particularly for myself as a younger fisherman. I don't have years of experience to really know that, oh, they hit over here and then they hit over in that area and then, you know, whatnot. So it's been a kind of a struggle to figure out, you know, where the lobsters are actually going to be, and it's pretty much only through trial and error and realizing where the lobsters aren't that I've figured out somewhat, you know, maybe where I can expect there to be some. But on the other hand, I'm also fishing 800 traps this year for the first time. So that's more traps than I've ever fished before. So all of the areas that I normally fish, I've run out of ideas, and now I'm kind of exploring, and I'm once again confronted with not having any clue where the lobsters are going in those newer areas. This V-notch, you can see very clearly, she's got a nice notch in her tail. It is very close to shedding out, so the next time she sheds, it's very possible that that V-notch will be completely absent. So what I'll do is I'll come by with my V-notch tool and I'll freshen it up. So now it's nice and pretty. So now when she molts, it'll still show through the molt, so that next time the lobsterman that catches her, maybe myself, will know that she is a V-notch and is protected. But yeah, so it's a real challenge to really figure out where the lobsters are gonna be and when to be there, because there's a balance between, I mean, if you know that lobsters are gonna show up somewhere at some point during the year, I mean, you could keep your traps there all year long. If you know that they're gonna be there in the first week of August, you could set your gear there in June and keep holding your spot so no one else takes it all that time. But there's a calculus that you have to do to know, well, what's the opportunity cost of keeping my gear there, right? If I knew that there was an area in June that was gonna do really well, that I could keep my traps instead, that might be a much greater value to you. So you have to always kind of be thinking ahead, and although, sorry, I just got lots of V-notches. Although it's fun to be catching lobsters, and when you're doing well in an area, that's always good, it can be really challenging because you always have to be thinking where you're gonna move them next. Even if you're doing well here right now, setting it back here might be a mistake because maybe you should have moved it to a different area because the next haul is gonna be terrible here and the next haul over there is actually gonna be good. So there's a lot of thought process that goes into chasing these lobsters down, because we are trapping them, but we're, in some ways, this time of year in particular, we're really hunting them. We're picking and choosing the perfect, most optimal spots to put these traps to catch the most lobsters. And you can see in the bay, there's fewer now because people are actually shifting away, but there really are so many traps all up in here. And it's the sort of thing that always makes me chuckle, because I think people just assume that there's always lobster buoys here and there's always traps here. But if you came here in January or February, like we do when we're scalloping, there isn't a single lobster buoy from here to Peaks Island. There really just isn't. Maybe a few up in the rocks, or maybe some that people forgot about. But generally speaking, everyone clears out because there's no lobsters to catch here in the wintertime. But come June and in the summer, people start stacking their gear here because they know that the lobsters are going to show up. It's a very interesting thing, and it's not written down anywhere. It's not advertised, but everyone kind of figures out the general macro trends of what the lobster population is doing. Now, granted, every year can be different. You know, some years, even the old timers will be surprised by where they show up, and people might just get lucky by moving their gear to the right spots. But generally speaking, I think people have a half decent understanding of, yeah, I'm sure that there are going to be some lobsters here at some point soon, and so they move their gear there. All right, we got to set this one back. Joe, how do we do out of that? 6 lobsters. It's a 6 trap string, so 1 per trap is actually better than we've been doing this morning, so I'll take it. Here we go. I always say here we go when I push the first trap over, or when something's about to happen on the boat. It's a good indicator to Joe or anyone that's aboard that something's happening. And it's force of habit now, so even if I wanted to stop doing it, I don't think I could. But here we go. I didn't give you a very good shot. That's not your fault. One of the most important jobs of the captain is to put the boat right on the buoy so the crew can gaff it. And I choked that one. So something that's interesting is when an area starts to do poorly, like right now, a lot of guys will shift their gear away from it, which makes sense because you want to be chasing where the lobsters are going. Side note, this is a rock crab or a Jonah crab, and that's contrasted with this, oh, he's gonna get me, which is a sand crab or a peaky toe crab, or a rock crab. Actually, I think the technical term for these is rock crabs, even though we call these ones rock crabs. You can keep both. These ones have to be a certain size to keep, and we don't have a market for him right now, so he's going overboard. But these ones, I got someone who wants these crabs to pick. And there's no minimum size on sand crabs or peaky toe in Maine. So, but anyway, you only take the big ones for proper meat yield. But pretty cool. But as I was saying, when everyone starts shifting away, as they should do, because you want to chase where the lobsters are going to be, the people that are stubborn or lazy that stick in the old spots that weren't doing well actually benefit. Because when there's when there's fewer people fishing in that area, then because they've left, the guys that sit there actually start catching a little bit more. You can think about, lobsters as a big pie, and however many traps are in an area, or how many pieces of the pie there are going to be. So when some of the traps leave, some of the pieces of the pie leave, and it gets redivided amongst those who stay. So if there's a whole bunch of people in an area and the catch starts to fall off, it could be worth it to stick around a little bit more in case some people jump ship and start running to the other areas. Although those people probably just have better information and know where they're going to slay them. So there's something to be said about that. But for people like me who are still learning or aren't confident enough to shift to another area, it can dampen the effects of a downturn in an area when people leave. So that's a good thing. Here I'm in a unique situation where we're not catching hardly anything and there's no one around. So that's how you really know that there's not very many lobsters here. We were doing well here last week and the week before, so I'm not completely surprised that the run has slowed down. So I think at some point I'll be looking to shift this string. There we go, we got a mother. And it looks like maybe she had a very old V-notch. We're gonna update it. And just like that, she's got a nice fresh V-notch. Very cool. Little lobster. We don't catch all that many really little ones because, as you can see, all the traps have holes in them, so a lot of the little ones just swim away. They get their free lunch and then they leave. Very good. It's funny, these traps come up right full of lobsters, but 95% of them are shorts. All right. How did we do out of that one so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 8 is not good. What's a bigger concern is I don't have a good idea of where to shift it. But we'll find somewhere. Well, let me say this. I think I thought I might have a YouTube channel at some point. Never did I think that anyone would watch it. Yes, sir. But I think because I had been making some videos for a while, it gave me, that was like good practice.
Yeah. It'll build the ability to speak in front of a camera.
Yeah, being comfortable to speak in front of the camera. And granted, I think I'm still not super comfortable talking in front of the camera, but I'm getting better at it. But the big thing is like learning how to edit. I had some practice editing, and I don't think people appreciate. I mean, that's like 90% of what it means to be making YouTube videos is, I mean, 90% of the time that I spend on the channel is just editing.
Yep.
And then frustratingly, I spend more time than I would like to on the titles, thumbnails, and stuff like that. If I could, I wish I could just name it Lobster Video Number 7.
Yeah.
But you have to make it at least somewhat enticing or interesting to click. Otherwise, all the time you spend filming the video, all the time you spend editing the video, and the story that you told, you know, like,
yeah,
it's all kind of for naught, so. Company store. The size of that guy. Nice big male.
Yeah.
I was just thinking to myself, oh, where am I going to shift this? And then they throw a nice big male right in my face, and I think, well, maybe we should keep you here. Wow, took it off right at the... That's crazy. So not only... I got parted off, you're good, right here by Casco Bay lines. So not only did it take my buoy, they took my entire end line too. I guess I'm lucky they didn't take the traps with it. That's incredible. All right, we're just hauling this string here, and look at this. A squid swam into the trap, got himself gill netted in the head, and the lobsters started eating him. That is really something. Let's see if I can pull him through. Look at that. Yep. I bet these make good bait. They also make great eating. but not every day you see a squid. Look at the size of her. I swear I already caught this lobster. Look at her V. I swear I recognize that V notch. But who knows? Let's see if it's oversized. No, she's not oversized, so if she didn't have the V, she would be illegal to keep lobster because no eggs, but because she has the V, she's illegal to keep. And it's a fine looking V. I'm gonna just add a little bit more. Because it kind of looked like someone just took a knife and cut it flat. So now there's at least a little bit more of a notch. So, very good. Go back and make some babies. Look at all these crabs. Wow, a lot of these are real nice sand crabs. Save you. We'll throw you back. We'll throw you back. We'll throw you back. Let's see. I'll take you. I'll take you. Well, that was a 2-for-1. I'll take you. You seem nice and aggressive. I'll take you. Let's see. Any other ones look particularly yummy? I think these are all too small. Well, we'll take him. All right. Yep. Thank you. Now Joe's gonna pick him out like a beast. Look at that. No, you're good. Wicked quick. We've been saving crabs all day. Well, she's not exactly a blue lobster, but she does have some blue on her, which is pretty cool. I've never caught a blue lobster. I've always wanted to and never have, but this is about as close as I'll get for now. But there's definitely blue on it. I don't know if she's an all blue lobster. Let's look at the underside. No, it looks like a normal lobster. See, she has a V-notch and she actually has a single egg up in there. So she needs to go over. But yeah, definitely some cool coloring on her. And yeah, so very cool. That's a bluefin tuna. I see them. This is getting old real quick. This buoy was on here yesterday and the bay lines got it again. So it's foggy. I was missing an end and I set the string. The last one I just set, I set over myself. So now I have to rehaul the one I just set because the bay lines cut one end of my buoy and I don't have a replacement buoy. What a joke, dude. Let's get back to it. All right, we got one more string left. This has been a very disappointing day overall. We're not catching anything, which isn't particularly surprising because we're in the area that I would expect to slow down as the lobsters move out. It's kind of a funny thing that, you know, when the lobsters really are crawling and trapping and we're catching a bunch, they are just crawling all around these areas. And eventually they shift habitat, they shift areas. Maybe they're going to go deeper, maybe they're going to go shallower, who knows. very depressing. We didn't do so hot, Joseph.
No.
We didn't even break 300 pounds. That's tough. We did 281 new shell and 8 hard shell. Hard to make money with that. Especially because we're about to go below 500 bucks on fuel.
Yeah.
So, definitely a disappointing day, but we're gonna go grab some fuel. Well, we took 85 gallons and I think it was over $5 a gallon. That really stings. That cuts our profit today pretty much in half. So, oh well, we're gonna go tie up at Widgery, and we're taking tomorrow off, so that's a good feeling. All right, we're here at Widgery now, all tied up. Feels good to be in. I think tomorrow's gonna be all rainy, so we're taking the day off, but we were gonna take the day off anyway. Boy, was it disappointing today with the catch being so low and spending all of our money on bait and fuel. But that's just part of the journey. We're gonna figure it out. Hopefully we'll catch a little bit more on Thursday, and hopefully it's not too rough. But that's what we're gonna do, and yeah, thanks for watching.